All right, so I'm going to talk about Glitch. It's a show set in Australia. It was an interesting show. It's about some people who apparently have come back to life. They they wake up by their graves and they don't really remember anything, and then eventually they start to remember things slowly but surely, and then they get taken. Initially, when they wake up, they get taken by the police, and the police take them to this weird psychiatrist girl. It was an entertaining show. I've only seen season 1, but I found it to be entertaining. But there are a few things that I have a problem with. Like, first of all, the doctor was way too fucking predictable that she was like, there was something she wasn't telling us. Like, there was something nefarious about her. Because she was like putting on this front of like, oh, I'm the only one who can protect you. If you go to the police, they'll make you into lab rats. But I'm actually the trustworthy one. Even though the police literally brought them to her in the first place. So it doesn't even make sense to me. It's like, what the fuck? Why is she more trustworthy than the police when the police were the ones to bring you to her? Did you not think of that? That doesn't make any sense. And what was it with the other police dude who kept asking about who destroyed the graves before he died and got possessed? That other dude, he kept asking who destroyed the graves. It's like, oh, I don't know, maybe it was those dudes that you found wandering around naked near the grave sites. Did you ever think of that? Guess not. But yeah, it seemed very predictable from literally the first episode that there was something nefarious about that psychiatrist girl. And the main character, in the first couple episodes, he seemed kind of dumb, to be honest, for the sake of the plot. For the sake of the plot, and I hate when that fucking happens, where the main character seems a bit too stupid, such that it feels unrealistic, just for the sake of the plot. Like, when he brought that dude, John, in, who was known to be somewhat erratic and dangerous and violent, he didn't tie him up. All he did was put him in handcuffs. Like, he's a big dude. He could seriously injure someone even without, being out of the handcuffs. Like, what the fuck? I don't get it. Why did you not tie him up? Why did you just leave him there with handcuffs? That's not good enough, bruh. That seems like the peak of stupidity, to be honest. And when that girl freed him from the handcuffs and he started choking her, I was like, I was laughing. I was like, damn right, this is what you deserve. I mean, what the fuck? This is the peak of stupidity. You're lucky he didn't actually kill you, because you would have deserved it, motherfucker. I mean, what the? And then when he learns that if they go more than 5 kilometers from the village, people die. And he comes by Maria, who's wandering away from the psychiatrist lady. He doesn't even bother to tell Maria, hey, if you go more than 5 kilometers away, you will die. He's just like, oh no, just go back. I don't care if there's a tsunami or earthquake happening. You go back and stay there. But I'm not going to actually tell you that if you actually go 5 kilometers away, you'll die. Like, that just seems so irresponsible and stupid. And then when he goes to the cop buddy, before the cop buddy dies and gets possessed, the way he goes about trying to convince this dude, he's like, oh, I know what I'm saying sounds crazy, but you just gotta trust me, bruh. You just gotta trust me. It's like, why don't you tell him, hey, come see for yourself. You can come talk to these people yourself, that they all identify as the person that are listed on these graves, that we have past photographs and past evidence that shows these people look exactly like people that are documented on documents in the past. He could have said that, and he also could have said, hey, even if you don't believe me, even if you think I'm crazy, just know that if you pick up any of these people, that if you go more than 5 kilometers away, their nose will start to bleed, and if you don't stop and immediately reverse, they will die. And, this cop, before he died and was possessed, he didn't seem very sadistic or whatever, so I think he would have, taken seriously that, what that warning, basically. But he doesn't even bother giving any of that information, which is just, again, it's just so fucking stupid. And I couldn't help but feel like the main character was kind of brain damaged or something. And then there was the fucking boring melodrama, which the stupid melodrama, which went on for 4 episodes, that this is just a personal thing, but it was just boring me where like, it's like, oh, he's got a new wife now and he doesn't want to tell his new wife that the old wife has come back to life. And for 4 episodes, they do this stupid shit where it's like, oh, I'm about to tell her. No, I'm not going to tell her. I'm about to tell her. I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her. And then finally they find out about each other's existence, and then the melodrama gets a bit more entertaining, but it's just so, I was rolling my eyes at it. I honestly think it was the worst part of the show, the most boring part of it, for me at least. And then there's that World War I soldier who was gay. And by the way, I knew he was gay from the very beginning, not because of the party and the way he reacted with that Kirsty girl or whatever, or the other girl, like the weird awkwardness he had with girls. Like, I would have that same awkwardness too. So like, I didn't think he was gay because of that. I just thought he was gay because of the weird aesthetic he gave off, even before the party scene. And then I thought about it when he goes and meets his relative. I just realized actually that dude that kisses him, that would be gay incest, even if his story was true. Like, because of the fact he's actually this dude's father back from the dead. It's like father-son gay incest, which is weird as hell. But I just realized, even if the story he told the dude was true, where he was actually the grandchild of actually his sister, wouldn't they still be like third cousins? So it would still be incest, no matter what. So yeah, that plot line was it was interesting, but it didn't have a massive payoff, because the payoff was basically figuring out he was gay. I already knew that. Like, it was so obvious. And then of course when Kirsty was calling that boyfriend of hers, before we knew that the boyfriend was framed, I was like, this dude, like, why does she think he'll come? Like, I was just like, if this dude actually did kill her, like, why would he actually show up? He would just be like, no, if you're actually her, if you're actually her ghost back from the dead and you want revenge, or you're someone who wants to get revenge on her behalf, you got to do the bare minimum, okay? You got to come to me. You can't be so fucking lazy that you expect me to come to you, okay? But yeah, then he finds out that apparently actually he was framed, and he knows beyond certainty. And it's weird because I feel like if I had found out I had been framed all that time, I'd want revenge. I'd want to actually join her and find the real killer. Because wouldn't you want to get revenge for all that wasted time? Like, I know he says he doesn't believe in justice or whatever, but it's like, now you have the opportunity. Now this girl who you supposedly killed is back from the dead, and you have the opportunity to go help her track down the real killer, and he just gives up. That's so gay. And also the villain, the one who wants to kill all of the re-risen people. I noticed that he wasn't exactly the most charismatic villain. He wasn't exactly the most, he wasn't good at bullshitting people. I would notice when people would, at certain times where if he had been a bit more charismatic, if he had been a bit higher in the speech skill, he would have actually been able to convince them just using his words. But I noticed when he'd get confronted on his lies or whatever, his brain would just go blank and he couldn't come up with anything. And it was bruh, I could come up with things. I literally could have done his job better than he did it himself. I think that was intentional though. They didn't want him to be too socially competent or something. Just the way they portrayed his character. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there was some nefarious thing about how actually the villain's right and these risen should actually all be dead, and them being alive is actually horrible. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that the villain ends up being right, basically. And especially because of that psychiatrist girl. Apparently the ending revealed that she's been dead for 4 years, so she's someone possessing that body. And she lied. Yeah, she lied to that John character to get him to do her dirty work. And when John loses, he doesn't even attempt to explain to the other people that that psychiatrist girl lied to him and was trying to get him to kill on her behalf. Like, he doesn't make his case whatsoever. He just accepts it. Like, bruh, come on. I hate the lack of communication. It just creates fake tension. It's so stupid. And then the ending where his wife temporarily dies and comes back to life, and the main character walks out. That's interesting, because now we know the wife is possessed. And I know, like, the main character is going to want to be in denial about that. But I swear to God, if the next season, if he just, like, blindly, with no doubt whatsoever, accepts that this girl, that his wife is actually his wife, even though it's the same exact pattern with the psychiatrist and with the police character, it's the same exact pattern. And if he doesn't recognize that pattern and has at least a bit of suspicion, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. He better be suspicious. So, and then oh yeah, there's that Patty dude, the oldest of them all, who he comes back and he seems kind of racist, but it turns out actually he was in love with a black girl. And then he was killed by his own family because of it. Yeah, he was an interesting character. So my final thoughts, the show, it held my attention throughout. I didn't really find parts of the show where, like, my attention was waning or I was getting bored, except for the parts with the melodrama with the wife and the girl. But other than that, it was very good entertainment-wise. It kept my attention, and I'm interested to see where season 2 will go. So, yeah, that's it. Remember to go fuck yourself.